Okay, here we go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Chef Salty Pork Podcast with your hosts, Casey and Sean. We're your weekly home for culinary news, insights, and tech musings.
That's right. So you can also catch us recording and streaming on YouTube at Chef Salty Park Podcast. Please like, comment, and subscribe to get up-to-date notifications of when we are broadcasting live.
And it's an early show today.
Yeah, it's really
I think
early show.
This is the first time we ever got.
I don't got none of these lights on.
So we still got light. You know, I should turn the light on to my face.
My comfy shorts.
Yeah, Sean is in business class, as I was telling him.
Yeah, look at this collar.
Oh, is that too bright? There you go. Maybe just a little bit. There you go. A little highlight to my face. Hey, That's what we're talking about. Yo, Sean. So I got a couple of news for you.
Yeah, man. It's been a while. I feel like we haven't talked to each other in like what, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah. So we were in Philly. So the wife and I went to Philly for not a week, like 3 days. Is it 3 days? Yeah, 3 days. And then we just spent some time with each other. We always usually do it our anniversary. Okay. And she decided we should go to Philly. I'm like, hey, I'm all for it. It was great. I haven't like fully dedicated my time to go to Philly. Like not like stay over or anything. I mean, I've been to, Pat or Gino's just to stop by and get a cheesesteak, but other than that, nothing really in effect, to
I can
go to
honestly
Philadelphia.
say the same. Like, I mean, despite the fact that Philly is literally like a 2-hour drive from here, a little less than that, maybe more or less. Like, I feel like I've gone to Philly for specific things, did that thing, and then came back home to wherever home happened to be, whether it was, the New York area or the Poconos or even back up to Boston. But I haven't really ever taken the time to kind of get lost in the sauce, the cheese sauce.
Well, I mean, was it like Pennsylvania? You always think of like Poconos pretty much. Like, at least that's what I think.
Yeah, up that way. Poconos, Scranton, Allentown and the like.
No, it's like, but we went right into the heart of the city. So we were downtown, within walking distance about everywhere. So it was just like a really fun time. Caitlin made me walk 6 hours at one time. I was tired. Okay. She's like, I'm fine. I'm like, I'm not. My legs hurt. What do you mean?
Did you know that that's what you were gonna do? Like, did you wear comfortable shoes for the 6 hour walk?
I mean, I had sneaks on, so I was fine.
Okay.
And she had walking shoes on, so she was cool too. But like, I didn't realize that's what we're gonna be doing the entire time. Yeah. So we're walking around. But after like the third day, I was fine. But man, it took a bit, and I was like, why my legs hurt? Well, first of all, okay, so here's the thing. Usually when I walk an extended amount of time, it's in my chef shoes, and they feel amazing. So it's fully supported. I don't feel anything, and that's like the draw. So when you're out in normal life, you're walking like regular shoes, everything will start to hurt because they don't support you well. Your feet is just like terrible in any kind of sneakers. I should really buy a brand of the normal pair that I have, because they sell normal ones, like just like casual shoes, and I can wear that outside if we're gonna go. Like for the basketball shoes, I had like a pair of Adidas that I usually rock to and fro wherever, if it's like just 20 minutes or so, that's fine. But if I'm not on the court, obviously that's where it's supposed to be for.
Yeah. It's designed to cushion your foot, for hard foot strikes, and support your ankle for twisting and lunging, as opposed to
not prolonged walking.
Be lightweight and supportive in a different way.
So yeah, man, Philly was cool. Highly suggest going to if you haven't really. Lots of I forget exactly where we stayed, but it was an hotel literally in the heart of the city, and we can walk literally to all the spots. And the one that's of note is we went to Morimoto's spot. So the Iron Chef Morimoto, amazing. Some of the best sushis I've ever had, and we also ordered a cod. This cod, okay. So here's the thing, Sean. You know this. Whenever we get into the culinary thing, if you taste a dish and it's that good, you get pissed off because
I was just gonna ask you that.
I was
Like,
so mad.
yeah,
I was
there's
so
definitely
mad.
been those times where like I have had something to eat and like immediately like you appreciate it, and then on the other end you're like, damn, why aren't I this good?
Exactly.
What
Exactly.
steps do I need to complete to make someone else this envious of something that I've done? But yeah,
My goodness. Well,
it's funny
we
you
need to
brought
be an
that up.
iron chef. That's what it is.
I guess so.
That's where that level hits. But Sean, so the dish is their miso cod. Literally just that. The dish
Mm-hmm.
comes out to you like a blackened. It's like maybe 10-ounce cod with the skin on.
Okay.
And I want to say it's coffee blackened because I felt the specs and I tasted it. And then there's this miso glaze that I've never experienced that way in a glaze before. I've used miso all over, but not particularly. It was it was a little sweet. It was a little tangy, and it wasn't hot. It was a cool glaze. I don't know. I was just mad. I was just like, damn. I need to have this. Like it needs to be my dish. I'm gonna take it Morimoto's just so you know, in my new restaurant will be opening in the future somehow. That dish will be on there, and I'm gonna name it Morimoto. No shame, just I'll rename it altogether. But yeah, man, we done that. Caitlin has a proficiency in Yelp.
Okay. Hey, shout out to that.
Yo, she's like pro at it. She's like, okay, hold on, let me get some spots. Boom, bam, bam, like 4 apps going at one time. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm a professional.
See
And
that,
so
and then
Yelp,
you answered another question that I was just about to ask you. So I mean, obviously you were in the industry. You know, who was in the driver's seat to pick out the places to eat? And
she
I'm
was,
guessing it was Caitlin.
she was,
Okay.
she was. I see, so here's a dynamic between her and I. If you put me in a restaurant, I'm cool, calm, collected. I can order whatever. She cannot. She panics. She needs to learn beforehand what's in it.
Okay.
So she needs to digest the entire menu for herself. Otherwise, I think a lot of people are like this too.
For
Me,
sure.
I don't care. I was like, cool, let's go, let's go eat something. Like I will. It won't matter to me as much, but for her, it's a process.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people get paralyzed by having that many choices in front of them, and especially
Exactly.
given like I don't know, it's funny because like given the opportunity cost of sitting and eating at a restaurant, right? You're just like, well, damn, I need to hit a home run because I have to pay for it, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and generally for those occasions, it's probably a place you're not going to go back to again regularly. Otherwise, you wouldn't feel that way. So you're just like, yo,
Correct.
man, I heard they
You
do
have to
this.
nail it.
I heard they do dish A really well, but damn, if dish B and C and D don't look good too, what do I do? And I
Exactly.
guess depending on who you're dining with, maybe you can spread those choices out around the table and get a little sampling. But I definitely know that feeling, and I've definitely sat across from people who've gone, you know what? I don't know. Give me the chicken.
Yeah. It's just like panic.
Just give me the chicken, right? Like can't go wrong with that. Whereas there might have been some different choices to make that might have been more enlightening. If given the opportunity.
Now, definitely stop by Morimoto's. That was a cool one. Another restaurant of note is called Sanpan. Now, Sanpam. Asian fusion joint, like newer style, delicious. It was just like little bites and all that. Atmosphere is great, but I think there was a Diner Drivers and Dives episode of this a while ago, or maybe somebody went to it. But the reading, is it Reading or Reading?
Reading,
The
yeah, Reading.
Reading, right? The Reading Market, right by downtown Philly. It's a conglomerate of stores, maybe like
Okay.
30 stores all in one go, packed into this little space, and some of the best cuisine to offer in Philly is like right there. So definitely something to check out if you were to visit. But yeah, man, that was our week. It wasn't too bad. Like I said, it was nice to take a vacay,
Yeah.
before getting back into the swing of it. But what did you do? I know like I said, you're a businessman now. You were off on fucking Memorial Day.
I'm a businessman, you know, not a businessman. Man, let me tell you about my Memorial Day vacation. So I'll tell you how it went. So I think last we left off, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go visit my folks, you know, to grill because it's the first time in a long time that I've had the holiday off. So, you know, that Saturday in particular, we're gonna hang out the Saturday and the Sunday, and then, you know, chill on the Monday on the way back home, or that was the plan. So we kind of hung around the house for a little while, and then tried to make our plans to get into Jersey, stop for a bite to eat, and then make our way up to the Poconos. So we stopped, get something to eat in Jersey, and what's the best way to describe this? So, you know, V went to go pick up the stuff. I was sitting in the car with the baby. We never turned off the car. All right, so that's key. He gets back in the car to pull off, and as we're pulling out of the parking space, there's like a truck that's like loading and unloading, and I don't even know what you'd call it, but like the back lift is like kind of going up and down, so it's making like this like mechanical sound that is unfamiliar, but it's familiar for what, you know, you're just assuming what that was. So we drive past it. Yeah. Our car is making that sound. So so immediately, like, we pull over, the car is still running, and, you know, the dash, I'm going to read it right now. So it said there was a critical control system error. Which is exactly not something you want to have right before you're going to commit to, you know,
a vacation.
Medium, you know, an hour or so road trip, right? So, you know, she's looking at me. I'm thumbing through like the instruction booklet for the car at the same time, like triple Google searching what this error is. And, you know, it turns out it's like related to, I want to say the superfluous like electronic system. So like the traction control, the little radar that tells you if you're, you know, too close to a car, the automatic braking system that brakes for you if it feels like you're accelerating too quickly, you haven't hit the brakes. So like those systems are failing. So she's like, well, what should we do? And at this point, we were in like Hoboken. So we're like a half an hour from home, but an hour and a half from where we were trying to go.
From where you're going to go.
So I'm like, all right, let's pull over and, you know, see what's going on. As she attempts to pull over, the power steering completely goes out. But luckily we were in a safe space, so we were able to kind of like, you know, to hard turn the wheel over into a parking space. Immediately I'm like, all right, let's call AAA, get this car, you know, back home, and you know, lick our wounds. So we call AAA, and they're like, hey, Mr. Moses, great to hear from you. It's Memorial Day. And I'm like, hey, great to hear from you guys. And you're just like, yeah, so we'll be able to send someone out to you in an hour. And in an hour, someone calls back and they're just like, yeah, hey man, it's maybe gonna be like another like two hours. So at this point, we're like, we're pulled over in Newark under like an overpass, and it's starting to get kind of cool. And we got a baby in the back, and you know, she's a good trooper on a car trip, but not so much when she's in a car seat and the car's not moving. Yeah. So she's turning into a pumpkin, and the way that AAA works when you call for roadside assistance, and I would assume it's the way that some other systems work too, is like they provide you like a link through text message that updates you in real time to the position of the tow truck. So when we got that link 15 minutes in, it's like, hey man, tow truck is like 10-minute drive away from, you know, station, 10 minutes away from where you are. So we're just like, all right, man, you know, it's the weekend. It is whatever. They got to get to us. And it's getting closer to New York rush hour back home. So things are going to be congested where we are. Yeah. So yeah. No. So V, in all of her infinite wisdom, what she does is she takes a look in the Google Maps to figure out where the truck is. And she realizes that it's actually the garage where the truck is supposed to be coming from. So she looks at Google Maps, enhances the picture, calls the tow truck people directly. It's like, hey man, like y'all supposed to come get us. Like, what's the real ETA? You know, like they're saying an hour. What's it really gonna be? The guy who's clearly like eating his dinner is like, oh man, I don't know. It's maybe like another hour. At this point, Brooke is immolating in the back. Like shit. He's like, look, we got a kid in the back. We just need to get home. What can you do? And sure enough, the guy shows up with the flatbed truck to come get our SUV and get us home. It happened to be the holiday weekend, so considering the error code that this thing was throwing meant we need to take it to a dealership, of which would be closed because it was the holiday. So
of course,
of course. Get the car back home. Luckily there's a parking space. We just get it into a good space. I hop in the car and immediately the car is fine. Doesn't throw the error. It's like nothing, like nothing happened.
Of course.
But sure enough, I'm like, look, I don't want to risk it. Obviously, we got ourselves. We got the kid in the car. We need to get this taken care of as soon as possible. So, we take it to the local dealership. Despite the fact that I have like a good mechanic, but I was like, look, with this error, it's probably going to be something really specific.
Yeah.
I take it to them. They take a look at the car. They say that, there is no issue, really. It was like a software issue. So they flash the car like, you update your firmware on your phone.
Oh, wow.
And sure enough, we've been rolling and good to go. But yeah, those are our scuttled plans for the holiday weekend. We got
software update.
Yeah, we got like 30 minutes. We stopped at Jersey Mike's to get like a sandwich. And ate our sandwich on the side of the road, waiting for AAA and an Uber to get back home.
I mean, we can relate, right? We use Skype all the time. That shit, when it's software updates, it's just like, nope.
Yeah. And it was a funny thing too. Like, V's like, look, how much do you think this is gonna cost? And I'm like, look, it's either gonna cost $0 or it's gonna cost like a couple of thousand because of like, the systems that this error throwing. It's like 4 different systems, and like,
wow.
And they're gonna be proprietary, right? So, but it ended up being just a glitch, a glitch in the matrix. So,
but still, like a finicky glitch to make the power steering go.
Yeah, so and like, that was, and again, like that was the one that like really got me. I was like, so we can't even like just drive this car.
Yeah,
not in traffic. It's
gonna mess it up.
Like, and not the half hour or so it would have taken to get back through lower, through lower Manhattan and into back home in Brooklyn. But nonetheless, it's all set. The car is ready to go, and we about our business, man.
So no barbecue. That's what you're saying.
No barbecue. No barbecue.
That's okay. Maybe in the next one. That's not. Yeah. I mean, it's not too bad. It's not like you're off on all the fucking holidays anyway.
Oh yeah, nah, man. I mean, I kind of made up for it with the little project that I'm doing for work. So we at my job, like, they have different, like, I don't know what's the best way to describe it, like different social groups that you can kind of elect to join,
Okay.
And these different social groups might present or do different presentations on different things. So one of the ones that I'm a part of, we're doing a Juneteenth presentation, and for those who are not so inclined, Juneteenth is a holiday celebrated in America, and pretty much it's based around the actual ending of slavery in the United States. And it's kind of a messed up holiday to celebrate, but an important one too, which is that when slavery was declared over by the U.S. government in the East Coast, news of this didn't necessarily spread to everyone affected for some time after. And Juneteenth is like when people recognize when that information got to
everywhere.
the the last enslaved people. You know,
Mm.
for a lot of reasons, it wasn't really the end of slavery, and oppression, but it did mark the end of that particular period. So, when it comes to this presentation, I was kind of using some of my um, latent culinary skills to kind of talk about the foods and traditions,
Yeah,
of
man.
soul food and Juneteenth in particular, and why certain foods are presented and enjoyed, and the relationship that they have to um, African American culture, but beyond
Mm.
just that, like American culture and at a whole. So
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to barbecue then, but got a chance to kind of contribute and present in a couple of days.
Oh, there you go. That's pretty
On
fun.
those, yeah, on those levels,
Yeah.
yeah. This is
Now, I
interesting. Hmm.
I believe I mentioned to you, it's pretty good too. I didn't realize that's what you're doing, but I mentioned to you this documentary I saw the
Yeah,
other week, High in the Hog.
high in the
If
hog.
anybody is listening on Netflix right now, one of the top documentaries happening, High in the Hog. It's about American culture, but more specifically how black slaves literally ingrained their culture into here that were turned into kind of the American barbecue, and like
Yeah,
just how Americana kind of goes about it. It's all literally documented in that series.
yeah,
It's such a good
yeah.
4 part episode.
The story of African American cuisine is, I mean, it's obviously very personal to me, but it's
Hmm.
interesting that it's kind of the story of like African Americans, which is like for a lot of people, they were suffered some extreme hardships, and especially some that despite that you could read about it and maybe even be shown it through some sort of like video, you couldn't imagine to experience. But despite that, they had to find ways to kind of persevere with the limited opportunity and limited resources to nourish themselves and provide an opportunity to kind of grow for the future. And
Yeah.
it's really really interesting to me that like some of the foods that were literally left to American slaves, are now part of elevated cuisine in the Americas and all around the world. So,
Mm.
I definitely would recommend to those with the Netflix account, or if you borrowing one from someone, hey, live your
Somebody on
life.
your account.
Just yeah, check out High on the Hog, man. You might
High in the Hog.
find an appreciation for some of the things that you just or assume as normal in for American food options. I mean, look, people lose their minds when fast food restaurants put out fried chicken products.
Yeah.
What I'm saying? The history of and tradition of that stuff goes back to slavery, literally.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, check it out. Check it out. And
Quite a bit.
for those inclined, man, go read and understand, a little bit about Juneteenth, and give yourself a little bit more context for the state of our world, the state of the country, and the promise for the future.
It's like I said, I couldn't text Sean fast enough when I saw the documentary.
Yeah, it's
I was
just
like,
funny.
oh
When
my
that
god,
text
this
came in,
is
I
so
was like,
fucking good.
yeah, I had a hug.
This is so fucking good.
Yeah.
Watch it because I'm a sucker for documentaries. One, but two, culinary documentaries. I'm freaking there. And then three, to learn about something that we're all as normal, kind of in cuisine life. I was like, yo, this has me hooked all together. And they're talking about pigs,
Yeah.
so
All right, hey man,
I was just like all about it,
it's the
all
Salty
about it.
Pork Podcast, man. We're locked in. But yeah, man,
Look
it
at it, saw me
always interests
twice.
me just all around the world, like what people do with the resources they're provided with, right? Like, you know, people got to grow, they got to live, they got to be nourished, and you're gonna do so with the stuff that you have readily available to you.
So I had I totally forgot I had the little tab up for the thing. They're talking about it right now on Food News everywhere. High in the Hog, a Netflix documentary series. how African American cuisine transformed America, and it's straight up really really great documentary altogether. Just a couple of food news, Sean. If you want to also do some tech, we got a couple. We got a couple of that. If not, that's not a big deal. But really quickly on the food things, this was from I want to say maybe a couple months ago. But a study finds that U.S. schools have the most nutritious food amongst places we buy from. Sean, did you know that in food, how do I explain it? Like assisted living, schools, colleges, there's a certain, it's almost like grades. Like, in beef, excuse me, beef, there's select the lowest, choice the middle, prime the top. For schools and in any of that kind of facilities, there's a certain grade that needs to be met in that aspect, and that has to be served specifically for that purpose. So foods from the schools actually are pretty genuine, but it's most common like if you see it in flicks, it's just like a plop of mess that goes on your thing. But nowadays it's pretty good, but still cannot beat Asia. Asia's like the most ridiculous school system when it comes to food, and they have the children help the staff to make the food. So once we all get there, then we'll revisit that thing. And then a couple more, Sean. I think you'd find this pretty hilarious. What is the obsession with hot Cheetos and just mixing it with shit? Is it?
I think it really comes down to one, availability, and like the distinct color that a hot Cheeto is going to leave, or add to your dish. Like it's almost unnatural, like that kind of red
That
armor.
kind of
I mean, it
red?
literally is unnatural. So whenever
Yeah.
you're presenting something with that, you know, um, it's gonna be distinct, and because it's like Cheetos or Doritos, like it seems more approachable. So I could get some
Is it?
Cheetos. I can do that, right? I could do it.
Is it though, Sean?
What's
Look,
what's
they
what's
ladled us with sauce, with cheese sauce on top of the crab. Like, I don't know. We're skipping that one. Um, Burger King donates sales from the new chicken sandwich. I don't know if you
There
knew,
we go.
Sean. Burger King is trying to get into that chicken world. It's chicken, not chicken,
Chiking, chiking. Yeah, I
chicken,
saw like they're
chicken.
doing a promotion, not to give them a commercial, but I saw that like to entice people to buy one of their chicken sandwiches, they're offering a free Whopper or something along those
Yeah,
lines.
believe so.
Hey man, the chicken sandwich game is
It's
the chicken
strong, my
yeah,
guy.
it's strong, man. Strong.
Strong. Starbucks confirms ingredients shortage is currently keeping some items out of stock. Not just coffee products. Actually, a national shortage of chicken right now happening. I don't know if you knew, Sean. Even in our purveyors, we're like maybe 4 days out on a chicken. So chicken is held back for some reason. I don't exactly know why. I haven't really researched too much of it, but right now chicken is on a slight shortage.
Yeah, it seems
Um,
pretty relatively expensive. Last time I was
yeah,
in the market, I was like,
um,
geez,
it's up 18% right now.
yeah, it feels like it.
I
It,
know.
it definitely feels like
Yeah.
it's up around 20%. But
And then last and finally, Sean, I know the TikTok news that this one goes straight to my heart, but so there's this creator called Yaya Yummy,
okay,
Asian dude, weird guy. He's just, I think, in my opinion, he's a bit satire and a little out there. And he wants to be known for the crazy dude. So he would mix flavor combinations, and he always says, "Oh, you have to try carrot juice and Oreos or some shit." Or in this case, watermelon and mustard. It became viral. Over had I don't know so many millions of hits, and now he has a crazy following. But I think it's a bit of both. So he wanted the clout, but at the same time, I think he is that person. Like he does eat weird, so I don't know. I don't know him personally, but it is kind of a thing. What do you feel about this? Watermelon and mustard.
I mean, I like both, so
Huh?
it stands to reason that they might play well together. I mean, because you have like the tang of the mustard,
Mm,
as well as like the cool sweet of the watermelon. I mean, look, am I gonna go out my way to like recreate that? No, but if a dab of mustard happened to fall on a piece of watermelon I was eating, I wouldn't wipe it off.
Yeah, that's true. Low key, I tried it, didn't phase me. I'm like, next.
Okay.
My taste buds are just like, what am I eating? Cool. Okay, next. I was busy too. So, anyway, that is all I got on food news. Sean, if you want to do a couple of tech ones. If
Yeah,
not, I do
yeah.
have.
So, I mean, we've been gone a couple of weeks, so there's some stories that I would have talked about in previous weeks that I feel like, I don't know, time has kind
Yes.
of moved
Yes,
past.
yes, yes.
But this weekend in particular was the closest thing to E3 that we're gonna have for this year, with COVID, with response to COVID. But yeah, some updates in the world of video gaming. So, it's rumored that Nintendo will be releasing an upgraded Switch for later on this year. It's supposed to target
Why?
4K, as well as have some better battery life on the machine. As a Switch owner, would you be looking to upgrade?
I am not actually. I got rid of my Switch, so
Okay, yeah.
out and gone. I
I
only
mean,
played it for that one bit, but then it's just like I have a PC for fuck's sake.
sure.
That I keep forgetting. Like there's a crazy horsepower of an engine right here that I could play video games to or at rather, and I'm fully satisfied with that. So for me, I'll pass. Maybe my brother though. I could ask him.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I mean, I think honestly, I would probably not be getting an updated Switch. Like, at this point in time, like, playing on that machine is not really much of a priority. But I'm always
Yeah.
interested in like the cool stuff Nintendo does do with their machines. So, yeah, maybe not this time around, Nintendo. You get me on the
Yeah.
next round.
I mean, Nintendo is tomorrow, so
Yeah, yeah. Again, we'll see tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon, our time. We should
tomorrow.
kind of know something more specific. Kind of getting into, if we're gonna stay on hardware. What about if we talk about moving away from hardware? So, Microsoft has, let the gamers know that eventually you're not even gonna need. All you're gonna need is a connected television to gain access to their platform. So, they're
Oh,
working with the TV partners of today and tomorrow to kind of integrate Xbox cloud streaming directly into your TV. Not too dissimilar to how Netflix and Amazon and HBO Max are, platforms on your television. And all you'll need to connect and play is a Microsoft account and a controller.
that's
This
it.
is the future, trying to figure out ways to, bring the Xbox experience to all sorts of different places. I mean, as of right now, you can play on their consoles from this generation and last generation. You can play on your PC. You can play on a Android tablet, and soon to come iOS devices like the iPad and the iPhone. So, Microsoft's trying to meet you wherever you are and serve up the experience that you feel is going to be best for your circumstance. All you need
I
is
mean, I'm
all you
down.
need is a controller. Yeah.
Definitely down for it.
Yeah.
I
And
don't
one of
mind
those
it at
games I
all.
think you might be interested in is Starfield. As a I know you're a big Skyrim fan. You look like
I
you
am.
you had started up a new game.
Did you
Uh,
see? Can you see my desktop on here? Like, so Sean, hold on, Sean. I'll show it to you. Can you
yeah,
see
share
my
your
desktop?
screen. Let me see what you got. What you
Hold
got
on,
going
hold
on
on.
there.
So I re-downloaded Skyrim
Mm-hmm.
for all the folks to know. Say, hold on. Let me see. Like, share the screen here. That one. Okay, I'm gonna belittle it, but you can see it on my desktop right there on the bottom. Hold on. Here it is.
Mm-hmm. I
On
see
the
it. I see the
bottom right.
little icon. Yeah, for those who
Skyrim is
don't
back
know,
on.
Skyrim is a role playing game, and it's one of the most popular role playing games of like the last 10 years. I mean, it started out on the PC and the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, and has pretty much been ported to everything. I mean, you can get
Everything.
literally, if there's some they can connect to a screen with a controller, you can play Skyrim on it. And
Yeah.
Microsoft in particular went out and purchased the company that makes those games. And their newest game is going to be set in space as opposed to the high fantasy and Norse
Yeah.
mythology of some of the previous titles. So
I'm
that is
down. I'm just so down.
Starfield. Yeah. But that's what I really wanted to talk about. Like, the world is kind of starting to reopen, and we're getting back to places of normalcy. Things like conventions are going to
Thing
be things
again.
that people can attend, and in other circumstances, things that can be broadcasted over the internet for people to kind of like partake and enjoy that way. So, this time is like Christmas for gamers. And there's a few
Really
more
is.
press conferences to come in the coming days. I'm looking forward to seeing what's up with that. But yeah, thus far, Microsoft is really knocking it out of the park. By acquiring the studios that make the content that lots of people want to see, and trying to figure
Yeah.
out the easiest, or rather eliminate the barriers for people to use that content and see that content wherever they happen to be.
Then just some final news for you, Sean. So as you know, I'm kind of hopping about trying to find the right fit employment for me.
Sure.
Been doing trails, been doing plenty of interviews and whatnot. I took a stab at a wedding catering hall here.
Oh, cool.
It just wasn't my speed. I think it was. It just felt monotonous. Like I was just doing one thing literally for 8 hours, and I was just like, I mean, I don't want to talk about of any of the other workers that they really do work hard, but for my speed though, I want to be more in the creative field where I can create the dishes, compose it, send it out. I guess that would be a part of me, not just. I mean, the dishes that I did make, aka the fish or the beef or any of the proteins, those are cooked to as well as I can, but that's it. That's always as close as you're gonna get to a completed dish. So I gave it a week. I spoke to a chef maybe a few hours earlier. I was like, hey, I just let you know, I don't think it's gonna work out. Thank you for letting me come on. I did also talk to the owners. I was like, hey, I'm still undecided. I'm going through some of the stuff. Like I just want to be sure that I'm fully committed to what I'm gonna go. So I passed that up, and then literally yesterday I got a call back from one of the restaurants that I was really looking forward to working in, and I start Wednesday. So Wednesday, hopefully this pans out well. Because if it does,
it provides
it's gonna be mine.
The challenge, the flexibility, and the opportunity for you to kind of do what you do, but also grow in a responsibility. I mean,
exactly.
I think I was kind of talking to someone else about this similar thing, and for a lot of people, that's really what they want, right? Like they want to know that they're gonna be able to work hard, be appreciated, but also there's an opportunity for them to kind of grow and develop themselves, especially if they don't have like an ownership stake in whatever the product or the company is. Obviously they want that to make money, and they want to make money, but that's super important. So I hope that this next place is a better fit for you.
I believe so too. He said, when I said he's the chef owner, definitive Monday, Tuesday off. They're shut down for 2 days. So we literally only work 5 days. I was like, wow, amazing already to begin with. And then it's only a la carte evenings. So this will be my first restaurant that I only have to work. Well, you still have to be there midday, right, and then push out for dinner. But that's it. That's literally all you're doing. The menu changes quarterly, even sometimes every bi-weekly. And for my brain, I'm like, perfect. I can create. I get to get a little input, and I get to do completed dishes. So for me, that was the allure. There was the allure more than anything. But yeah, man, hopefully it pans out well. The guy is lovely. Hopefully I can meet the staff, and we get to gel together. And I did mention to him, I'm a very good follower first before to lead. Like I will make sure that I'm your hip and bone first before I become the other guy that's detached from you. But yeah, man, that's it. Nothing too crazy. Those were the 2 weeks. My car didn't break down like yours did, but I did take it. I did take it to the shop though, but it wasn't as crazy.
Yeah,
as that
I don't know. Apparently, I just needed to like restart the car, like just like a computer.
Wow.
I should have held down the power button for 30 seconds. It would have been fine.
Final shout out. If you are in, I want to say northern Jersey, but if you're in the Bergen County area, you're looking for a dope barber. This dude's name is Julius. He's Legacy Barbershop, and in Rivers. This is where I got my cut. Right now, all fresh. Did my lines and everything. I was like, yo, I think you're the only dude that did a skin taper number 2 all the way around and lines all over. I was like, I appreciate you. I'm gonna give you some business. So done and done. So again, if you are in the Jersey area, a really good barber. His name is Julius, Legacy Barbershop. Quick plug in for. I really appreciate him. He's very cordial with time also, and I appreciate that. But yeah, man, Sean, you wanna X us out into next week? What is next week? Nothing. We're just waiting for Father's Day. That's it.
Yeah. It's the slow roll of Father's Day. I want to thank everyone who's listening to this and rocking with us. I know we took the last couple of weeks off, but we back at it again, and hopefully this episode was something that you'd like to enjoy. You have been listening to the Chef Salty podcast with Casey and Sean. This podcast can be found on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. You can find video of these episodes streaming and archived on YouTube at Chef Salty Pork. Reach us by email at AskChefSalty. Oh my God, I almost did it. And this is why you need to listen to the end. Reach us by email at AskChefSalty@gmail.com. You can reach me directly on Twitter at MetroCardX, and you can talk to me about the Nets. Maybe they're going to pull this one out. Maybe not.
The Nets are going to win it. I'm telling you right now.
I don't know, man. This dude's
Nets are going to win it.
Getting injured. We'll see. I want it to happen.
The Nets are going to win it.
Let's see them beat the Bucks. Let's go.
Okay, so who's your final two? Nets and who?
Oh man, it's hard to call. Again, with these injuries to Harden and Kyrie, I don't know if they're gonna make it. But I would like to see the Nets go up against the Suns at this point.
I was gonna say the Suns.
That would be the most entertaining finals that I think we could get with the teams left. If it's not gonna be the Nets, then I guess the Sixers and the Suns. I'm not really interested in watching the Bucks.
Sixers, come on now.
Yeah, I mean, I think they would be a home team here. Like, I'm not a big fan of the Bucks right now. I just need them to move out the way so the Nets can do what they gotta do.
They just need to lose. That's what it is.
Yeah, I don't even want to get hurt. I would just rather they go on vacation.
Okay. I want them to get hurt. So just tell Giannis just chill out, stand by. In any case, ladies and gentlemen, have a good one.
Peace out, Internet.